Hey guys, it's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays. We're talking ACC football, Boston College at Clemson. If you want 15% off the entire site at picksandparlays.net, just use the promo code TREAT, T-R-E-A-T. Clemson, of course, big favorites in this one, minus 32. The total is 60. The Tigers enter 6-0 on the year, but 2-4 against the number. BC 4-2 straight up and against the spread. Clemson coming off a big win, 47-21 over Syracuse, and some other trends to look at. BC over in 2 of the last 3. Clemson has hit the over in 3 of their last 4, which is a little teaser to what I'm hinting at. But we've got Nick from the Insider's Room, a true expert, joining us for this one. Nick, what do you think when you see these two teams on paper?
I see one team that plays incredibly well on the offensive side and on the defensive side, and that's Clemson, of course. Normally, I don't actually play games like this with such a massive spread, but in this case, I do. I think it's going to take Boston College behind the woodshed this weekend for a good old-fashioned butt whooping. The Eagles, they enter off that really satisfying 48-27 win over Georgia Tech last Saturday. Quarterback Phil Jurkovich, he was decent. He had 145 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also ran for 94 yards. Now, BC, it averages 27.5 points per game. It allows 25 points per game. But the Eagles face the number 1 Tigers. They just crushed Syracuse, as you mentioned, 47-21 this past Saturday. Now, Clemson, it was a ridiculous 47-point favorite in that one. And now it's a much more reasonable 32-point favorite this week versus BC. But a standout last week was Travis Etienne. He finished with 86 rushing yards, and he also had 3 touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence, now he leads an offense that averages 48.2 points per game. And the Tigers defense, it's likely they've been even better. They're limiting the opposition to just 13.5 points per game. Now, BC, it's looked good at home, but it's also looked terrible at times this year, and that included a 26-point loss at Virginia Tech. So, yeah, I think that the Eagles, they're going to predictably struggle on the road here after their home win last weekend. I like Clemson to come out much sharper than it did against Syracuse last week. And so, Chelsea, that's my read on this one. I like Clemson to run away with this one at home, and I think it's going to cover the large spread.
When I usually see these huge spreads, for me, I kind of like overs as opposed to taking some of these big numbers, so you don't have to be nervous in the fourth quarter. I do like the over in this one to hit over 60 points. Clemson is fully capable of covering that number themselves. As you mentioned, they're averaging almost 50 points a game. And in this college football landscape, I think all of these teams truly have to prove that they belong at the top of the conversation. Clemson doesn't really play anybody too tough. I think Miami's been their toughest opponent so far. So they really have to blow out teams. And in the process, usually they'll have a couple garbage time touchdowns from the other team towards the end. So I do like the over in this one for Clemson to hit over 60 points.
I have a hard time seeing BC slowing down Clemson here. And after that sort of lackluster performance last week, yeah, I think they're going to make the most of this matchup at home. And as you said, they could probably cover that number almost by themselves as they're averaging, almost 50 points per game. Just ridiculous.
Big things from that offense when it comes to Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne. That's going to do it for our college football talk here on Picks and Parlays. Good stuff from Nick from the Insider's Room. As always, thanks for joining us, Nick.